Good evening and welcome to worship, Wednesday night worship, our first one of the season here at Centenary United Methodist. I'm Pastor Erica Kozer, leading tonight with Pastor Michelle Hargrave, and we welcome you to this. This is gorgeous tonight. It's a lovely evening.
So I invite you to fill out the Connect cards. That's a way to let us know that you're here. And there's a place for prayer requests on the back, and you can put these in the offering plates as you leave. We have several announcements on the back, lots of opportunities. But we aren't going to go through all of them. You can read them. If you have any questions, ask us. At the end of the service today, we'll go through all the options of what happens at 6:30 so that you know where to go and what is possible. All right?
All right. So this is an abbreviated service. We're here for half an hour. It's a combination of prayers and music and a short message. So relax, enjoy this time with God and with each other.
All right, and let's stand and share together our gathering prayer. God, our Creator, let's say it together. You are the maker of everything that exists, the author of the world of nature and of all living things, the creator of both space and time. Without you, there would be no past, present, or future, no summer or winter, spring or autumn, seed time or harvest, no morning or evening, months or years. Because you give us the gift of time, we have the opportunity to think and to act, to plan and to pray, to give and to receive, to create and to relate, to work and to rest, to strive and to play, to love and to worship. Now let's sing. Oh, there's more. Sorry. God, you are not so much timeless as timeful. You do not live above time so much as hold all times in your hand. You have prepared for us a time when we will have leisure to enjoy each other and you to the full. And we thank you, appreciate you, and applaud you for it. Are we? Oh, okay. All right. Now let's sing. Come, now is the time to worship. I invite you to be seated, and we'll share responsively the litany, which will echo the scripture reading tonight. For everything there is a season, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to love and a time to hate. God has made everything suitable for its time. And let's stay seated and sing, "Come and Find the Quiet Center." Come and find the quiet center in the crowd.
Tonight comes from Ecclesiastes 3, and I'm actually going to read it to you from the Message translation. So it's not on the screen. So Gail, you can click through if you want to. We're going to read it from here. Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 through 8. There's an opportune time to do things, a right time for everything on earth, a right time for birth and another for death, a right time to plant and another to reap, a right time to kill and another to heal, a right time to destroy and another to construct, a right time to cry and another to laugh, a right time to lament and another to cheer, a right time to make love and another to abstain, a right time to embrace and another to part, a right time to search and another to count your losses, a right time to hold on and another to let go, a right time to rip out and another to mend, a right time to shut up and another time to speak up, a right time to love and another to hate, a right time to wage war and another to make peace. Here ends our reading. Okay, everybody, let's just take a deep breath. I need that for my own benefit tonight. It's our first Wednesday night of Open Circle, and the energy in this building is frenetic, and it has been that way all day. I think we've both had just crazy days running and preparing and getting ready. and walking in to the sanctuary tonight and just being struck by the gorgeous light pouring in from that window and knowing that we would all come together to gather tonight and to find a little quiet and a little peace, a little distance from the scheming that we sang about at the end of that last hymn. So this entire month, we are focusing on the theme of Sabbath. And our Wednesday nights will reflect the same readings that we do on Sunday, and it may pair with what we've heard on Sunday. It might be a different tangent. Today's a little bit different tangent than the direction Michelle went on Sunday. But Sabbath, it is a tricky thing. And as Michelle and I were sitting down figuring out what verses do we want to use, what scripture are we going to bring into this, we both thought Ecclesiastes is a good one. There is a time for everything. On Sunday, friends and family sang the Pete Seeger song, To Everything There's a Season, Turn, Turn, Turn. And so as I was thinking about this scripture throughout the week, all I could think about was that we turn and we turn and we turn. I thought, oh my gosh, you turn so much you get really dizzy sometimes. And that seems to me how our world feels right now. It's a little bit dizzy. We are going around, and just when you've had time to take care of one thing, it's time to do the next thing, and then it's time to do the next thing, and it's time to do the next thing. There is a time and there is a season, but often we forget those times for rest, those times for Sabbath. I am horrible at Sabbath. So I don't know if I should even be the one preaching about it, except I need to hear it and spend time with it, because I live in that energy of turning, that energy that is created when things are spiraling, not always spiraling out of control, but spiraling. But there is a lot to hear from Ecclesiastes tonight and a lot to think about when it comes to turning. I found this picture and I just love it. I thought, okay, yep, some of us are like this sweet little boy and like, holy moly, it's all going around so fast. I'm probably like the little girl in the middle, like, woohoo, it just keeps going. I love it. And then this little guy on the side is like, I don't even know what the ride is. I just don't even know why I'm here. I don't know what's happening. I thought sometimes when we get into that cycle of turning and of looking for the seasons, and maybe we're in a season that is difficult and hard and we just want to get off the ride. We just want to be done. And other times it's a season of joy and excitement, and we are so excited, and it's those, woohoo, we're having a great time. And sometimes the ride just makes us sick, and we just need to slow down and let the vertigo settle for a little bit because we've been spinning so much. Where are you spinning in your daily life right now? Are you spinning in caretaking? Are you spinning with work? Are you spinning with school? I know all of you guys have just started. I see a lot of it. Yes, school and homework and new routines. We are constantly in that turn, 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 turn. And it can get really exhausting. The thing that I kept coming back to this week as I looked at the scripture and as I have needed to hear this in my own world right now and in this time and place is that there is a season for everything, and there is a season for Sabbath. I tell myself that every day. There is time. God gives us time to slow down. But we know that sometimes we're going to be in planting times. That's sort of the summer around here where we are sowing seeds. We're getting ready to get to Wednesday nights, and it's time to harvest. It's time to harvest all of that energy and thought we've put into it, and we get to harvest and see what happens, the bounty that comes forward. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Sometimes we might be in a time of death, and that is hard, and that is grief-ridden, and that is sometimes a ride we want to get off. But we know that out of death comes new birth, and that turning continues to happen. And Ecclesiastes reminds us that turning may go this way, but it's always going to come back up this way. And the best thing is that we are never alone in the midst of it. And that's where I think it's important for us to think. Oh, okay, yep, tilt-a-whirl. There's another version, the tilt-a-whirl, where you're spinning, everything's spinning, and you're spinning around, that can happen too. But sometimes we just need to take that moment to find Sabbath, to find rest in a restless world. And so how are you feeding your souls? How are you taking that time? Because while they didn't necessarily write about it in Ecclesiastes, there is time to connect with God, and that should be above all the other times that happen. God is wrapped into all of those times and calls to us to make sure we're watching and looking and listening for what God is telling us in the midst of our planting and our sowing and our reaping, in our healing, in our speaking, in our listening. God is woven into all of those things. And if we don't take the time to find some rest, sometimes we miss out because we're spinning so fast that we don't hear and we don't see what God might be telling us. So, where in your lives are you finding that time for rest? How many of you are walkers? You like to go out and walk in nature? All right, we've got a lot of walkers. How many of you are readers? Find your space and time. Lori, I'm just going to name all of yours tonight. So, yeah, walking, read. How many of you are nappers? I think that God enjoys a good nap. I think that that's a good thing. We are restoring our souls. How many of you find that Sabbath time maybe just sitting by yourself or being in meditation? Anybody? A few of you? Okay. Yoga? Anybody find it in yoga? All right. My ways of finding Sabbath are not going to be the same as your ways. Your ways are not going to be the same as each other's. We all have that time and that space that works well to fill our own souls. And I think that's important when we're talking about Sabbath. That what I might say, oh, well, if you just would do yoga every day, you'd be fine. You'd be centered. Everything would be good. Well, for me, my body doesn't do yoga. It just doesn't bend like that. So that's not going to be relaxing for me. That's going to be stressful for me. But if I can sit by a lake or I can sit outside in my backyard, I can hear birds, I can take a walk, that's very relaxing for me. For other people, that might be stressful. So it's finding that way that God has planted that seed in you of what your Sabbath is. What is it that God is calling you to? And then trying it, practicing it. And in different seasons of our lives, it might be really different. You might have knitting might be your thing for a while, and then you decide, oh, I'm done knitting. Can't make any more scarves for any more people. And so you find a new way of Sabbath. But it is finding that time within what you are doing to find that Sabbath, that rest. This picture just was restful to me. This is at our lake cabin, and it is the place where I find Sabbath most often because it is quiet, it is detached. Our cell phones don't work there. We don't have internet. We have to truly unplug. Drives my daughter crazy. But it's time where we spend time with family, where we listen to the loons, where we are quiet, and where we are at that point where you're touching nature. I mean, you literally are grounded in nature because you are outside the cabin most of the time because it's so beautiful. So, well, my challenge for you this week, you're spinning, as you're turning, as you're continuing to go, is to remember that there is a time for everything, and above all else, there's always time for God, and there is always time for Sabbath. It might not be an hour, it might only be 5 or 10 minutes, but there is always that time, and God calls you to that. My hope and prayer for this season of Open Circle is that this becomes a time of Sabbath for you. That unplugging from your day in the middle of the week, that this is a time to come, be blessed by the gorgeous light from this window, be blessed by the people that we gather with, be blessed by the kind of hushed tones of this service, and to find peace and Sabbath and reconnection to your soul, to what God is calling you to do, and then to the rest of your week. I invite you to sing our final song, which is May You Run and Not Be Weary. You can stand. May you run and not be weary. to be a home, a safe place to come for Sabbath and for rest. So as you go into this week, find peace, find time to be with God, and find time to give thanks for the community that we share here. All right, we're going to dismiss you to all the things now. So, and you've got a little bit of time. We ended a couple minutes early because I want you all to know where you're going. So, let's start with your group.
Religions class that will be meeting in the fireside room, and it will last 1 hour. It's designed for adults. You can come once, you can come every time, but we'll be upstairs in just a couple minutes. It's on the second floor in the education wing, so if you just sort of keep heading back that way and go up one flight.
You'll get there. Adult choir will be, sanctuary choir will be practicing in the heritage room starting at 6:30. So stay on this level if you would like to go to that, just in the opposite side of the commons. Youth group, we will be in the fishbowl. You can head down there. It is open. Nursery is open for the evening until 7:30. We do ask that you collect your children at 7:30. Please, no children left behind. Bell choir will be meeting in here. So if you are interested in playing bells, you can stay here.
And connect.
Yes, our Connect kids are going with Shelly, and you are meeting upstairs in classroom 200.
No.
It's either 200 or 203. I get them mixed up. You're in the blue
203.
room at the far end of the
203.
hallway. All right, 203.
Uh-huh.
All right, go in peace. Amen.
Oops.